comes Brighton. The banners up. Look at this. Go. Brighton boys.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue as we sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue. It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue as we sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
Good afternoon, patrons, and welcome to the Barwick's STJFL Under-15 A2 Boys Grand Final this afternoon between Southern Storm and Brighton. I'd now like to invite patrons to be upstanding and join with the players and umpires for the national anthem. Thank you, everyone. Good luck to both teams competing in their grand final today.
So a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Barwick's STJFL Under-15 A2 Boys Grand Final. Is going to be a cracker. It is Brighton v Southern Storm. Brighton have had such a stellar season with 14-1. Southern Storm 9-5 have sort of snuck their way up from third. It's Andrew Silver Fox Hopwood up here in the Peter Sharp Tower, and I've just had a quick change. I put the suit and tie on because I've got AFL royalty beside me. On my left-hand side, I've got the CEO of AFL Tasmania, Damien Gill, and on my right-hand side, I've got, well, he's played in the AFL or VFL, and he's also head of football in the South, Andy Bennett. Welcome along, firstly, to you, Gilly.
G'day, Hoppy. What a treat to be up here in the commentary box with you.
Yes, I know that you are looking forward to getting up in here, and more so than that, not very particularly wisely dressed in your shorts and T-shirt and thongs. Just had a bit of a workout. You're looking as fit as a trout. And Andy, I know you and I have been speaking a lot in recent weeks, and it's fantastic to see the colour and the pageantry and the variety of different teams playing off in the grand finals.
Yeah, it's the STJs. We've got an enormous amount to be proud of with the STJFL, and one of the features of that this year has been how well so many different clubs have gone. And can I just jump in there? This would be close to, if not, the pinnacle of my commentary experience over many years. It brings me back, if not my football experience.
Well, I have to say, last year I was joined by one of the doyens, Jimmy Wilkinson, and he'd happened to say that. So you are in very, very good company. But Gilly, Brighton's been going very nicely. I know you two guys get up and see the facilities. The facilities are wonderful up there, but more than that, they're doing something with the kids, and it's good to see the resurgence of the Brighton Football Club. It's a big community, isn't it? Right
across the board, the club's got a lot to be proud of this year in particular. A team in every age group, and they're performing right at the senior level. Yeah, it's just fantastic to see that club really thriving.
It's interesting out there. It's been a really pleasant afternoon or morning so far, and just a little bit of rain's come over, and you can see a smattering of the crowd. It's just moved to some of the grandstands to get under cover, but there is the weather radar, seeing some of the rain just sort of coming in and around this very, very famous oval as we go up ready for the first contest, and they do so. Well won there by Brighton, bullocking their way through, trying to barge their way out, cleaned out by Harvey. Ball now in dispute. Well done by Harvey again. A couple of quick possessions, got it towards the outside, and the running players now, it is Brighton. Shimmies one way, goes back the other. That's very evasive and clever by Latham. Latham goes long. I'm not sure if that was touched. Oh, within the blink of an eye, it has gone through for a goal. Now, Andy Bennett, that was magnificent play by Brighton.
That was fantastic football. Great kick in the end. Who kicked the goal in the end?
I think Latham.
Latham. What hits me around when I watch junior football play now, there's a different style. It goes about it in a different way now. Kids have confidence. I guess from watching AFL football play, just to take him on as he did there. Just take him on, backed himself. We knew his own ability. And so close. Ooh, possibly should have been touched, but didn't.
What I liked about that as well, Andy, was the new style of a wingman. You always hear the preeminent coaches talk about owning the real estate, so staying out wide and understanding your role within the game, and he stayed out wide, didn't he? And he was able to receive that ball. Yeah,
to some degree he took a punt, but it's paid off. Why not? Smart decision. Didn't get sucked into where the ball was.
Well, so it is. Brighton starting very nicely as the big man comes directly out, goes close towards the line. Storm getting their hands on the onion. Well played there by McMullen. Comes to look back inside. As I always say, Gilly, you can't win the game in the first quarter, but you can lose. So you just got to set yourself up, don't you? Set the scene.
That's it. Feel each other out and just settle into the contest. Brighton have started well.
Okay, so here go the Storm. I'm sure if anyone can lead them to it, it is Super Coach Cohen down there. Trent Cohen done a wonderful job with the Storm. Of course, Signet in their senior men's yesterday won through to the SFL final, and we do know that their ladies won the A2 division in the SFLW. We're not going to really talk about that one, gentlemen. I'm not sure who they played, but the ball now comes back in. The Storm leading towards the ball. That was Alpine, just quickly tapping it out. Close contest there by Muscat, the vice captain. Been saying he was impeded on that one. And so it'll be a free kick going to Doreen. Now there's a famous name from down that area. Awkward kicking style, but somewhat effective. Just passes that one off to McMullen, who has been really running hard, that up and back from the central area. Pretty direct sort of play, not to anyone particular. Coming out, taking a tad high there. And I like it there, Andy, when I was going to say the umpire pays the man going the ball. So I don't know if I scrubbed that. I thought he did get in and under, but around the neck.
Oh, he was deemed fair tackle.
Fair tackle.
Holding the ball.
No, fair enough. As it's a scrubby old kick going close to the line. All but could have kept that one in, and again looks back to say, well, come on, umpire was pushed over. And it is a tough sport, combative sport. There is something about pulling the Guernsey on, and you go to war. You mightn't have to dearly be best mates with the person you put in the Guernsey on, but you have to have that respect and understanding when it's your turn to go. You have to get in and under. McDermott pushing hard, bullocking his way, but he's held that one a little bit too strong and long. And I'll tell you one thing, Gilly, isn't the mullet back?
It is. It's almost rarer to see someone without a mullet.
Yeah, I'm with you actually on that. We're going to talk a bit about that as we get to quarter time. I'm interested in a bit the mullet. We're going to talk a bit further, but yet again, ball in dispute. On the wing position, there is Cohen, who tries to force his way off the ball. It is a hot contest, and there is that handball that gets it towards the outside that Brighton have been so good with, and it comes over the back, the right place at the right time. I know as a coach for a long time, Andy Bennett, you like to see your forward stay in front, but this time judged that one to perfection and held his ground and took a strong mark deep in the attacking area for the Brighton Football Club.
We'll wait to see the result here. There's lots of ways you can get attacking shots on goal. Sometimes it's just hard work.
Yep.
And, grind, and a little bit of luck goes your way. But that was really well constructed. They organised it forward to centre, beautifully coordinated. So
it was Viglino who didn't quite take that one, but a strong mark. So at the moment they're setting up really nicely, Brighton. There's been another whistle on play. Just for a minute I thought that was going to be paid a 50, just didn't quite go behind the mark. So that's given an opportunity for the Storm to set up behind the ball. They can drop some numbers back. Here is the kick. It's long to the hot spot, looking for a big mark, and he's there again. Taken a pretty effective mark. Just for a minute I thought could have been hands on the back, but Gilly, you'd like to see defenders just getting their arms across in these early stages of the match.
He's presenting well. He'd want to make more of it with this shot.
Oh, he has done. Yeah, great work.
Very confident start from Brighton.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It has a feel about them. This is a side that's gone through the whole year, dropping just one game, I think.
Correct.
I think I've got that right. They have that feel about them. This is our moment. This is our time.
Yeah, sometimes it's interesting, isn't it? We take you back to the football is littered with stories, be it 73 when the great Sandy Bay, of course, were undefeated and Hobart turned up and they had their wake planned and all of a sudden they won. I think North Hobart the following year in 74. We can go through history that it's a very different game under the pressure of grand finals as Cohen picks up one, and he's been a ripper throughout the season. He featured very nicely in the Beakley Awards just on Monday night, and there is Turnbull trying to get his hands on the onion. He can't do so as it goes towards the wing position. There are the vagaries of that oval ball as it crosses the line and goes out, and so that will be a free kick. And I don't mind this. Where do you sit on this one, Gilly? I reckon sometimes when I watch the AFL I get confused on what's on purpose, and I reckon you might as well make it at the last touch. Why not give it a kick to the opposition just so it's clear?
Yeah, it's an ongoing discussion, isn't it? Obviously in the Sandful they play rules that are similar to that, but yeah, there is some drama in the insufficient intent as well, though, I've got to say. Yeah,
I just sort of think sometimes, just like in the female game, between the arcs, if it's kicked out, let's just say, because sometimes there is just too much interpretation. Well, someone in your very lofty position will be able to, you know, put your stamp on that when you meet with all the power brokers at AFL House, I'm sure. Anyway, now it is Brighton. A few questions will be asked of this defence, and this is an interesting time again, Andy, isn't it, for the defence of Brighton? They've been good offensively, but now they needed to stand tall, don't they? Yes, and Southern Storm probably need to make use of something. They've only been inside 50 probably twice. Yep. So they need to get a result, need to get a score. So there is a clearing kick by the defender in Davey for Brighton. Goes, oh, and that's just the awareness, isn't there, Andy, of a grand final. You need to understand as soon as you take possession of the ball, it's going to be a hot football. It's a little bit hotter, yeah. Good mark taken by the leading forward in McDermott. He's got the big barrel chest, he comes out. They've got plenty of marking options in that particular time. They almost sort of bump into each other. They're fighting very hard. Good first and second efforts. Just watch the head, son, as you go in. Well umpired. Yeah, it was well umpired, and Hilton White takes it. White spreads it further afield, comes out towards Main, and again they go further afield. And I like this movement, Gilly, when they look laterally. It looks to open the game up, doesn't it, for Brighton? And this Latham has started very, very nicely. Yes, he has. As we said, he's certainly owning that wing. As again, comes out towards Brighton. Oh, that's clever across the side, just hit the post and through for the minor score. But we'll just check the Brighton's Best Bakehouse scoreboard, which shows us that. The Robins, they are 2 goals, 1-13. Southern Storm yet to score, but they did look a little bit better offensively a few minutes ago when they had the ball down in their forward 50. That's a really good, strong mark. Just calling in players to come at him. I think that might have been Cohen who arched the back and took that big, strong mark. Ball is evading now, comes out to Plummer. Plummer back towards the true centre-half forward position. Oh, look at that, goes one way, back in the other. Might have been deemed, could that have been prior? And in fact, it has. I think that was fair enough. Excellent work. That was Latham, the man that Gilly just mentioned a few minutes ago. He looks very, very likely the ball can get out to him. Storm doing well through Seth Denny. Denny just tries to bludgeon that ball. Sometimes when it comes to finals, you don't have to be pretty. Just get that metre or two ball going your way. And again, the umpire says, if you're prepared to pay the ball, put your head over the onion, I'm going to give you the kick. And so Southern Storm through Darcy, Doreen take that kick. They go forward. And Turnbull came out and was about to take the mark. In fact, the whistle had sounded. How many times, Gilly? I reckon the poor old ump then, he thought he's going to mark that one, isn't he? Yeah. He's just blown the whistle. Educated guess. He didn't quite complete the transaction on that occasion. Yes, I remember once I was umpiring in an old Scholars game and I blew the whistle and this buffhead dropped it, and all I had to do was I apologised and I blamed him, not me. So now here is that brave kick opening up the corridor, and that was magnificent as Muscat come out and moved it deep into the attacking area. It was Lang who got the Dukes up high, couldn't quite bring it in. There indeed is Latham, who arches his back, always looking to bring an opponent in. Comes back to get it again. Low to the ground is Latham. The whistle's gone. And this particular time in that hot football, it was a good tackle by the Storm. And they've been rewarded, and they can take an opportunity to try and repel that one. But Andy, the Brighton midfield are setting up very nicely, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very hard for the Storm to get out of defence. Very capable in the air, I think, Brighton. Catch the ball well.
Okay, and you can see here that kick, it was on, but just went a little bit too high for the leading forward in Richard Lang, who looks very, very likely. He's a good, strong sort of rooster. You can see the big shoulders there. I reckon he'd call into the Brighton's Best Bakehouse and get some of those award-winning tandoori chicken pies. Oh, that'd be only the downfall of me if I played out at Brighton. Now,
you'd have to spend a fair bit of time on the track, Hobby.
Oh, gee, wouldn't I? I wouldn't be the whippet that I am now. But anyway, there's been another whistle, and you can see the hands going to the head of the Storm players. They said you were just blocking the run, and so it's a free kick, and this could be very, very costly as Riley Brown now goes back, and Brown has an opportunity to score the third goal here for Brighton. Not a lot of breeze to speak of. Nice still conditions, just a little bit slippery as he comes in now. Very deliberate shot on goal. Oh, I like that. I love it when a forward goes back and he doesn't look side to side, Andy. He says, no, this is my job. This is what I get paid the big bucks for, and goes back and just drills it through.
It's great waking up in the morning, winning a grand final and seeing your name in the goal kicking list. Even better if you've got the best players, and even better if you've just got a little bruise or a little bit of cut somewhere.
Oh, so dear, eh? Remember that, Gilly, when Andy's not looking, I might just put one round the one from round the back when he doesn't see me coming. That was a lovely, lovely kick. Took the responsibility on, and I tell you what, Gilly, these are slightly dangerous times for Storm. I said you can't win it, but you've got to stay in the game, don't you?
They do, and they've got to put some time into young Riley Davey. The captain of Brighton has been in everything.
Yes, he has. And here are Brighton again. I like the way they've got some layers around the footy. As picking up that one is Charlie Gorringe. Gorringe goes forward. Now, what do you know about young Charlie Gorringe, fellas? There's a trivia question for you. What's the lineage of Charlie Gorringe? Come on, Andy.
I'll be thinking
it would have to have something to do with the stand.
There it is. Yes, the old Gilly's
I'm going to the generation before. It would have been Sam's son. Or?
No, well, yeah, but it's the grandson there of the great Horry. How about that?
And Graham was the son of...
Yep. Had him in the commentary booth as well. As here is Brighton trying to toss their way forward. They're under a bit of pressure here as the Storm pick that up. Oh, look at the consummate defender, the big hombre there, Big Jones, Big Jai Jones. I tell you what, could you imagine walking out in the field, Gilly, and all of a sudden you turn around and you see that big rooster coming at you? You know you're in for a hard day.
Dead right.
I tell you what, though, he didn't live up to his reputation, the old boy there. He's a hard man to play on, and they just need to take their opportunities, Andy, don't they, when they present themselves?
It just sort of feels the Southern Storm need to kick a goal, and the game needs them to kick a goal to give it a bit of life and a bit of belief. I
agree. So now Jones this time was much better by foot. Goes short as they clear that out, keeping the eye on the ball as it is now in dispute. Strong tackle, you can see there, the boys. There's no tomorrows. There's no safety net. It's like walking the tightrope without a safety net. There is no tomorrows. There's no coming back. It's not like a second semi-final. It's all on the line for here. All those hours of training throughout the season all boils down to these moments, and these single moments that can make up into a grand final. Storm doing a nice job there, just fumbling as forward goes back and gets the ball. He has time to recover. Goes forward. Ball now in dispute, picked up by Duggan. Just scrapes it off the ground, Duggan. As soon as he picks that ball, I think he could have been pushed, and that's the way the umpire has seen it.
Right on the spot, well umpired again.
It was, Andy, wasn't it? It's good to see again the player who's prepared to bend down and have a crack at the footy being rewarded for his efforts. So now, It is Roy Duggan. Duggan mightn't quite have the distance, and there is Jones. He goes that big punch. Fighting very, very hard is Jesse Cohen, and a really, really good tackle. Now, Cohen is one that they need to watch, and you can get a sense there as soon as he went near the footy. Brighton were really quick to close him down as Jones comes back on that scything left foot of his. Comes out, strong tackles. Gee whiz, tell you what, Gilly, for under 15s, there's some big, strong bodies out there, aren't there?
I was going to say, young Jones is probably shaving already. He's a well-built young man.
I remember I used to play Sunday League, and I was in the ruck for Lindisfarne under 11s, and I came up a bloke named Bert Woods, and he had tattoos up and down the arms, a full beard. And I won't repeat exactly what he says, but we're playing at rope. He said, if you touch the ball, I'm going to kill you. What did I do? I got a couple of kicks. The next I remember, Andy, I woke up at Royal Hobart Hospital. Bert was true to his word.
Slow learner.
Oh, g'day to Bert if you're out there. One of the greats from the Risdon Vale Footy Club. He got a bag of money, Gilly, to play with Richmond and never went over. That was back in the day. Harry Jenkins used to come round. He said, come and play with me, son, and just grab your bag of cash. Where are those days gone? But all of a sudden it is Brighton kicking it out. Well, they spotted up the kick there. I think that the conditions, just the ball might be slightly slippery, but gee, Brighton are really playing that possession game and looking to bring each of their teammates into the game, which I really, really like. A nice shimmy there by Hills. Can't bring the ball in. I think at the moment, Andy, that Brighton have just been a bit cleaner.
Yeah, I know their junior club and their senior club has put a lot of work into coaching skills and game structure, and that's paying off here. Dan Bell, who runs their junior competition, junior coaching world out there, does a great job.
Gee whiz, that was an interesting one there, Gilly, too, wasn't it? With that ball was bouncing, we thought that's going to jump up and go over the top, but didn't come straight to the back as Brighton. That's a terrific kick, going to that 15-odd metres out from goal as a defender. You hate it if the ball goes in there and players charging in. That was Hills who had a quick snap on goal, but it doesn't go through. So, Gilly, as the season is winding down, we are at the grand final. Obviously, you get around the state. You must be thrilled to be here and seeing the biggest football comp in Tasmania and thinking to yourself, footy's in pretty good shape.
Oh, absolutely, no question. It's one of the great joys coming to watch junior footy like this on the home of footy is North Hobart Oval, and everyone's so happy to be here and happy to be a part of it, and a competition that just goes from strength to strength. That it's fantastic.
No, I agree. So here go the Storm. They need to get reward for this forward thrust, but there is Jones. Oh, he's a beauty. He just took that mark and then sized up the options. He's a big, strong rooster, and that's a beautiful, strong tackle. And that's all you need, Andy, isn't it? Someone like the skipper there, Wallace, just to stand up those moments, just to give you some inspiration.
Yeah, he's committed. Terrific.
All right, so the ball now for the Storm. I reckon if I'm the Storm, I'd be directing them to say go wide of Jones, because anytime he gets there, he's like a battering ram. And here is a chance that comes down. Bit of pressure on the tackle. It goes very, very close. So well done there by Brighton as the ball came out to Lockie Hills just for a minute. So there we see Brighton with 9 insides to Storm 8. So they've been a lot more efficient. It's been sort of rushed when it gets in, as we can see here. As soon as that ball comes up, it's slightly in dispute as Cohen was tackled. I tell you what, the crowd that are here, aren't they vocal? They're just urging their charges onwards and upwards as it's very, very close to that boundary line. And there is some of the travelling supporters from down the Storm way. And I think, Gilly, you said before that Signet, they certainly bring the numbers. They love their footy.
They come in force, and they're loud, vocal, and it's such a good community that get right around their footy team. It's fantastic. They need a goal here, I tell you that.
That's for sure. So it is ticking down close to quarter time. Ball now in dispute, out in the open. Brighton this particular time overrun it. Tell you what, this young rooster here, I'd back him in the 100-metre sprint, but he couldn't quite get away. That was Jacob Latham. And as the siren sounds for quarter time here in the under 15A2, Barwick's sort of division, you can see some of the boys just sort of coming in here, a bit of argy-bargy. Come on, fellas, let's just get on with it. No need to go that, especially if you're in front. So the umpires just to come and sort that out. So as we just check, it's Brown, Vigiglio and Latham for Brighton, and for the Storm, they haven't got a goal. So Andy, if I avail you of your coaching prowess, if you're in charge of the Storm, what would be your message to your players?
I would be pleased with the last 10 minutes or so of the game.
Yep.
It evened out. I think they were a bit overawed, a bit caught up in, and as
drop some numbers back.
Farmers footy ball drawn into the contest. Yeah. And secondly, when they did win the ball, was to kick it blindly forward, just get territory. And Brighton are pretty well organised, and they were picking that off. And we saw them, as you correctly observed, their midfield controlled the ball when it came out of defence. So just be happy with the last 10 minutes. Be alert that you've got to use the ball. It is a tough game, and it is a final, and there'll be nerves, and everyone will be on edge. But you still have to go back to playing your best football and use the ball well, particularly getting the forward line. I just feel like, as we said during that quarter, that Brighton, Southern Storm probably need a score now to just reassure themselves that they're in this game.
Yep, no, I definitely agree. We can see the brains trust there, headed up by Trent Cohen. But as the coaches deliver their messages, it's our opportunity to get a breather and have our first break in the under-15A2 division of the Barwick's STJFL season. So we hope you're enjoying the coverage here by our media partner, Duff TV. We're going to have our first break and be back with all the action in the second quarter very shortly.
This program brought to you by IGA, where the locals matter.
Having trouble finding an after-hours doctor for your family? Sometimes we need medical assistance when everything is closed. In the Old Bridges Brothers Building, 71 Bathurst Street, after-hours Dr. Hobart is open every day till 10 p.m. Phone for an appointment or book online. And for added convenience, you'll also find your Hobart chemist also open until 10. When minor accidents and illness happen, we're here for you. After Hours Dr. Hobart and your Hobart chemist, open till 10 p.m. every day.
Brighton's best bakehouse. Love that homemade taste. Brighton's best bakehouse. Delicious in every way. Loving the taste. Love it homemade. Their own recipes. Freshly baked. Brighton's best bakehouse. Love that homemade taste.
Welcome back to the North Hobart Oval. Rain is just sort of coming a little bit around the ground. Just a sprinkling a few minutes ago. And there is the radar, as we can see it just coming across. Well, I know, Gilly, you went down and had a listen to the Brighton box, the coaches. What did Coach Muscat have to say? He must have been surely pleased with their start.
Yeah, confident start, more of the same. Wanted a bit more intensity with the fall away sort of back end of the quarter. No, very good start from Brighton Footy Club. They applied themselves well. Efficient inside 50 as well and defended well. So, yeah, pleasing opening stanza.
Yeah, very much so. I went down and had a listen to Coach Cohen. And he just said, stay in the game. We had good patches. We had the inside 50s. We matched up with them. It was just our polish, but persist at it, and stay out wide. Don't all get sucked into the ball like Andy said a few moments ago, as now that ball has been driven in. You can see it just sort of slightly skidding off the turf there as Cantrell got up on his toes leading out to get it, but each time he put a pace forward, the ball skidded off that extra metre just from that rain that has started to fall just ever so slightly. Now it's in dispute. There is one of the men who had a great start, was Latham. One of the fleet-footed brigade, as that kick was off the ground. That would have been a miracle goal. Well, there's been some terrific games in the AFL, but as well, Gilly, there's been some wonderful grand finals and finals football. We've had a few extra times. I know that Lauderdale in the under-14 came from the clouds in a thrill. There's been some great grand finals already in the juniors.
Outstanding. I know the South East Suns Lauderdale one you waxed lyrical about, and jealous I wasn't there to witness that. It sounded like an incredible encounter.
Yeah, it certainly was. So, yeah, the standard has been terrific, but even better when the games are close from a neutral performance, just wanting to watch a good encounter as Brighton, just taking their time on that. That was Muscat, who went out very, very wide to the leading heels. And on this ground, Andy, from your experience, is there any way in which you would try to play it? So is that the lead that you would honour, or would you more go towards the centre half forward?
I'm always a bit confused around what's the right way to go. I think we see a lot on AFL football now. They go long down the line because they worry about the turnover. I think at this level of footy, you should be getting it into the dangerous spot, in around centre half forward. Particularly you're in front, you're going all right. So
yeah, I think
take a risk.
I agree. Yeah, take the risk on. And I like it, and we saw very much in the last game, that was in the under-17A2 female division. It was Lauderdale who came out victors against North Hobart. Lauderdale always seemed to look laterally to spread the game open, just like that kick, and that's a really good kick. But there is the Storm playing in front, as all consummate defenders should be. Went the bump instead of the ball, and that was Duggan. Now he goes back to receive the ball again. He's on his slide of body, but by gee, he's got some courage about him. And there is Turnbull. He is assisted as well as that ball goes over to Denny. They've got a couple of fleet-footed fellas, and talking of big, strong roosters, there is Jones. Now, we were talking before off camera. He has certainly improved his footy. He's a good defender, isn't he, Andy?
He is. He's really tough. Runs straight at the ball. Kicks the ball pretty well too. He's taken a fair whack on his thigh there. He'll bounce back. He looks like a tough rooster.
Oh, yes. He takes after his mum, thankfully, that young fella, as the ball now comes end over end. Here's the other questions being asked, and we know that the Storm are up for the fight. They just haven't had the finesse in this last third, which is so crucial, because that's basically how you are judged in Australian rules football. It's not the amount of time you have with the onion, it's what you do with it. It's a funny old caper like that, isn't it, Andy? You can be less possession, but if you get the goals, that's what it's all about.
What determines the result is the score.
That's exactly right. So Storm fighting really, really hard. It's a confused ball in there. There are a lot of players trying to get their hands on the footy. Good handball there, but you can still see that handball still was into congestion, and if you can just get it to that outer layer, that's going to be the handball that it will set you up to some run and carry. Now works its way down to the wing position as a little bit more rain is just starting to fall as that one has come out. So those goals in that early stages to Brighton can come at a premium as the ball goes down towards Latham. He's beaten to it that particular time. running hard back into defence is Gorringe. Gorringe is a ripper across half back, but this young fella, Latham, does a good job when he screws that ball in. Probably not his finest delivery, but look at the forwards pressing hard with the tackles, and Storm pick it up. And the crowd are playing the umpire for a ball as that one has been knocked out of their hands. That comes back out into the true wing position, close to the boundary line. But I tell you what, Gilly, the tackling has been very strong from both teams.
Ferocious on the ground ball, terrific. Both teams have applied themselves magnificently. Southern Storm just need some reward for endeavour.
Yeah, don't they? As rain's just getting a tad heavier. So as I said before, those goals that the Brighton Football Club were able to get could be worth a lot more if the rain starts to close in. It'll get a little bit scrappier, and if you're wondering, that's why it could be just a tad fumblier at the minute, because the ball is slippery. But there seems to be a lot of players around the ball when in the early stage of that is a big, strong contest, and both players get up very, very quickly, as here is an opportunity for the Storm as they go forward. Doesn't quite go to the hands as Brighton taking their opportunities, just seeing that one out. So with 5.5, 6 minutes gone in this second quarter, there hasn't been that many scoring opportunities.
It's just hard work now. The rain is definitely having an impact. It's changed the nature of the game.
It's interesting sometimes as well, Andy, I know, putting my coaching hat on, when you ask a question of a player, what is success in the early stages of a football match? You can't judge yourself on your possessions. You have to judge yourself on what your role is in the team.
Yeah.
And maybe there's some players who are just feeling like they're trying to close in on the ball to get a possession.
Yeah, they get drawn into it.
So they just need to hold their ground on whatever the position is, and that rain is getting a lot more evident, as we can see out here. Well picked up by the Storm. That was Denny. Seth Denny gets it. Oh, here's a chance as well, picked up by Duggan. Duggan goes towards the goals, and Duggan has put it through. And Gilly, that's exactly what Storm needed.
Well, that's what the doctor ordered, all right. Duggan, it was a slick pickup. He swooped on it and threw it on the boot, and it bounced through nicely for a goal. And it's just rewards for the endeavour of Southern Storm in this quarter in particular. They've grown into the contest, and they're good value for the goal they've got on the board now. As we see the replay, this from Duggan was sensational.
Yeah, it was really good there, Andy, wasn't it? He fired the ball up. There's a lot of kids out there, they're slight of body, they've got body, but they've got good vertical leap, and they're certainly going in, aren't they?
I've seen him even in the first quarter. He's got a good first step. He gets himself balanced up really quickly. Gets himself a bit of space.
So, good work there by the Storm. I'm sure Coach Trent Cohen would be absolutely thrilled, and that big crowd that we can see on screen there in the grandstand, the Georgie Miller grandstand, will be absolutely cock-a-hoot with their team's performance. They are really fighting hard, both of these teams representing their communities, and I tell you what, as the crow flies, there's a fair old distance between the two. One is way down in the south, and the other team up as far in the northern type suburbs as you can go. So we certainly spread the wings far and wide in the STJFL, the largest football competition in Tasmania, as that one goes forward. But backing back is Blair Sears, who takes that mark. Just watching that ball, and took his time, and very accomplished mark. That is a very good kick. Maybe in the wet conditions, just try and pull it to your chest if you possibly can, as Clark gets the kick. Intercepted though here by Brighton, straight up through the middle again, goes towards Gorringe. Gorringe always gets the give and go. He's got good athleticism about him. I've seen him play a number of times. Harvey now boots that ball. Needs to provide a bit of a block here. They have numbers. Went the check side, gone the other way, as the driving rain you can see on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, and on our roof. It is absolutely pounding down here. And what started off as a cracker of a day, but it is still finals football, and the ball is there to be won as Brighton pick it up. This is danger signs. It's a very, very open forward line. Storm try to keep that one out in front if you can. Hard over the onion. Well played there by Brighton. Bergiglio, he tries to get that ball back inside. It's very close towards the boundary line. In fact, it's gone over, and it'll be another ball in. So,
the weather has set in, hasn't it, now?
Set in.
The nature now. You've got to sum it up. You've got to love the game. You've got to love the contest. Love your teammates, because there's a whole lot of reasons not to be there.
How does it change? Because, oh, look at that mark. How good was that?
Wet ball.
Dear, oh dear. Brilliant mark there by Doreen. Sometimes you can go into yourself, can't you? Like you just said, Andy, it can be just that little bit too hard. So who is prepared to stand up? It was Denny, who was just beaten to the ball, and that particular time it's close. In fact, over she goes, and it'll be another boundary throw in as Jones now re-enters the arena. You can see he's a great teammate. He gives the high fives to all his mates. I think he's just telling everyone on back and make sure you give me the ball. I reckon that's what it is. There he is, the general, just stays out the back. That's the sort of thing. Look at this, does the bullocking now to try and get it again, sliding in to get that one. There's one thing that I always try and teach the players is try and stay on your feet, Andy. Stay in the contest. It's hard sometimes.
Oh, really, particularly in this weather.
Oh, he's reversed
it. What's happened there, Gilly?
Davey, good tackle, but just rubbed his opponent's nose in it and gave away a free kick. You don't like to see that, particularly in a grand final.
No, I agree. You've just got to do the right things, and as Jones picks the ball up, goes towards the old boundary line.
I like this boy Jones. He's having a red-hot crack.
He is, isn't he?
He loves it.
You can see there, though, Andy's been penalised, and that's that last touch because it came off his boot.
Oh,
so, again, it'll be a free kick going to Phillips. You know, Jones will want to get back to the next context. Phillips goes the short pass, and it was a good kick to try and find Duggan. But this is the kick that's going to be crucial for them now, because we've no doubt about it, he's too far out. You can see that one's all but come off the side of the boot. But I reckon Gilly was going the pass. What do I know? As Doreen hooks that one back, it goes close. And what's happened there? I think it has gone out of bounds. No, I think
if we go back to maybe 15 minutes into the first quarter.
Yep.
And what are we now? 10 minutes or so into this one?
Yep.
Yeah. It's probably been owned by Southern Storm, really.
Yep.
Well, it's shifted remarkably.
It certainly has. It was just the efficiency that Brighton had. What's happened there? I think that is going to be paid a sling tackle. I'll have a look at that one on the Mood Food replay. As the umpire came in and said that Turnbull, who went the ball, he was slung around, and that can be deemed to be a dangerous tackle. So the free kick will go to the Storm. They go in, and there is that wet ball that went straight off the side of the boot. There is Duggan hitting the pack front and centre, and put it through for second goal for the Storm, and his second goal, Andy Bennett.
He's got something about him, this boy. He knows where to... He's got an instinct for goals. He knows where it's going to fall, and he, as I said, very well balanced in his first step or two. Off hands here, runs to the right side. You could argue that, that's not well defended, but he just knew what he was doing.
Gee, that was a great play, wasn't it? He came in, and there is, I think that's Stephen Eisel, the coach of the under 17A2 premiership winners from Southern Storm, watching. As Gilly said, the community be out in numbers to support their team, both from Brighton and from down in the Southern Storm area. So we are upwards of nearly 13 minutes gone, and as Andy alluded to quite succinctly just a few moments ago, that the Storm have certainly had more of the play but hadn't had reward for it. And young Roy Duggan, with that magnificent front and centre, has got that last goal. Can they get back-to-back goals? That's the question, as the skipper Wallace picks up the ball. Wallace went high and wide to that wing position. Again, you can see just a little bit slippery. And they're getting the rub of the green a little bit here now, Gilly, but it's because they're putting themselves in the better position.
Well, they've owned the game this quarter, really. And we spoke a bit about Duggan. He's been a game changer for them. That nose for goal, giving them the reward. And now they are playing confident footy.
Gee, that was good play to punch the ball back over the back. And it was Turnbull who had the run of the play. And unfortunately for him, he was interrupted by his own man. And again, it is going to be the Storm, and it is Cohen. Cohen takes the kick, leads that one in. Jones is back there. Oh, brilliant below his knees by Jones. He goes to the left foot, and he's just pushed as he kicks, Andy. But gee, that was good below his knees, wasn't it?
Very, very, very clean. I say it again, he's having a red hot crack. He's been a bit unlucky.
He has been a bit unlucky in the last possessions. It was 2 out of bounds against him, but he's the man who's effectively going the ball. He was just pushed off that one. So it is the Storm who are now got an opportunity. They need to get this ball away from the boundary line if they want to try and score. Oh, here is an opportunity. It does fall to the front of the pack. Ball now in dispute. It's like the old pinball machine there, going in, back, front. And now it's come out. Here is a chance, and it's Brighton who just gets some valuable meterage. Good shepherding there. Great teamwork by the Storm. It is Brighton who try and clear that pack if they possibly can. You can hear the umpires communicating to each other whose ball it is. And again, the free kick count is certainly in favour of the Storm. But again, as we just said, they are the players making the footy their number one target. Because that's probably not the best kick, just off the side of the boot. But again, Andy, it's hard conditions in it. You probably have to really guide the footy right onto your foot, don't you, in these conditions?
You have to simplify the game. Really simplify the game.
So now, Brighton.
Good hands.
Oh, this guy here, I absolutely love the way he's gone about his work. This time it hasn't been paid to Jai Viglino, but he's really one of the prime movers, as it is Darcy Doreen who kicks the ball but didn't really look, and Brighton about to set up nicely behind the ball. Here is Gorringe. Gorringe, as I said, very athletic about his work, comes back further afield towards Latham. Latham goes back in. Cowan is there. He goes for the ball. Now he tries to get his way out. He just burrowed in and worked his way out to some space. Duggan is there. Ball straight through his hands. I reckon that IGA football is getting very, very heavy. Comes inside. The little fella's there. Valuable meterage. It's Gorringe who's under a fair amount of pressure. It does go off his boot, but surely that's just accidental, as there's some pleas from the Brighton crowd, Gilly, but surely that was just a boot.
I think so.
That one.
Inadvertent, I think, as we just saw. Statistically, the Storm have owned the contest in this quarter, 6 inside 50s to 4.
Yes, I'm sure Coach Muscat for Brighton would love a goal here. Oh, surely not. Oh. Gee whiz, I tell you what, that would have been a big chance, Andy Bennett, for goal of the year.
That would have won it on any other occasion.
We've had some cracker goals in the STJFL this season, and look at that.
Gee whiz,
he just kicked it and missed it.
But he meant it. He wanted to hit on the outside of his foot. It wasn't just kick and hope.
It was very clever, wasn't it? So the ball in dispute. 17 minutes gone, 20-minute quarters. We're counting down to the second half coming very shortly. This is the under 15A2 Barwick's STJFL Grand Final, coming to you live from North Hobart Oval. The head goes back, and you can see that free-flowing mullet of Jesse Cowan. Cowan was runner-up in the Beakley Awards on Monday night, that gala event over at Boot Park. Comes over the back. Brighton pick it up. Well, this is a very dangerous kick. Goes back in the centre and could favour the boldest. The ball will get up, and well done by Brighton. It was a courageous kick, and now they're on if they can flick that next one over. But here comes Gorringe. Gorringe getting low. He just overruns it. He goes back to get it again. I think he's pushed this time.
He's got some toe, Gorringe.
He's a very good athlete, Gorringe. And I don't think he knows it yet. Now he's been made aware that he's going to take the kick. So it is Tommy Gorringe. Yeah, the last time I saw him play, Andy, he was being affected by illness, but I can see this time he's now showing his full athletic prowess as Jones goes in. He puts his head down, burrows in, and he's able to see that one over. As you can see, his teammate there in Bailey Main quickly comes over to congratulate him on his efforts, as it is, 18 and a half minutes gone, 20-minute quarters here in the under 15 division. Just setting up a little bit of a push. Brighton, wouldn't they love a goal here? Signet, oh sorry, not Signet, but Southern Storm boys from somewhere down that Signet area really fighting hard. That's a clever handball. Brighton were able to put their two dukes up and stop that one. So we're in all but to the last minute of players. The umpires, as you heard, didn't go the required 15 metres. So now the ball's in dispute. Charging hard towards it was Turnbull. Turnbull has been dispossessed from the rampaging Brighton, getting it out wide towards Latham. He had a stellar first quarter, but the ball just hasn't been in his zone. Now, as soon as he's picked it up, there was a flotilla of players coming to attack, but Andy, he's been rewarded for a high tackle. Very fortunate in that he was 1 against 4, but he did the right thing and put his head over the footy. So Brighton just steadying now with 30 seconds. They need to be very efficient as the ball comes in. Ball comes down, fall over that particular time. In dispute as the whistle goes, and it might be a free kick. Oof. And there is an opportunity here, Gilly, in the dying stages of the second quarter for Brighton, who, as you have said, have been out of sorts. I don't know what happened there. It was almost like that player went down, but it was number 25, which of course is the skipper Riley Davey, who applied that strong tackle.
Lots of ways to think about that one.
Big moment, this.
Yes, it is. So Davey,
a bit proppy.
He is a bit proppy. Need to get the pickle juice or the salt water just to bring him right. So what has he got, Andy? He's probably got about 35 odd metres to kick this ball, maybe 40. So it's going to take probably his best kick. I'll tell you what, off the boot, that is magnificent kick for goal. And the crowd love that one. Cometh the minute, cometh the player. That was, gee whiz, Gilly, that was a fantastic shot for goal, wasn't it, by Riley Davey?
He's had a pretty good afternoon already, but that was an exclamation point on a terrific first half, and badly needed for Brighton, who had a bit of an out-of-sorts second term, but they enter the main break with a 2-goal lead, and a very, very handy one indeed.
Just tell you what, he's kicked that one beautifully, and I reckon that was from 40, Andy. That was a great kick, wasn't it?
That's terrific, and he looked very confident, very relaxed runner, well grooved. He's one of the co-captains, and he certainly led from the front there.
Yeah, well, a very good goal there as we just checked the Brighton's Best Bakehouse scoreboard, which shows us that Brighton are 4-3-27, the Southern Storm 2-3-15. The goal scorers, it's Riley Davey, Riley Brown, Jai Berglinio and Jacob Latham with singles for Brighton. And for the Storm, their goal kickers are Roy Duggan with 2. So at half-time, we're going to have our half-time break. Before we go, we'd like to, again, thank our partners for coming on board with the STJFL. And there they are, Barwick's Wholesale Retail Landscape Supplies, IGA, where the locals matter, over 88 stores around Tasmania. Your Hobart Health, 71 Bathurst Street. Don't you worry about going to the Royal Hobart Hospital. They've got doctors there till 10 o'clock every night of the week. Great service, and we're very proud partners with Your Hobart Health. Bennett's Petroleum, they're statewide, nearly 20-odd locations, and I tell you what, if you need some nourishment, go into Move Food, and it's fantastic to get driveway service at Bennett's Petroleum and our very dear friends at Brighton's Best Bakehouse. So again, half-time, Brighton 4-3-27, Southern Storm 2-3-15. We'll be back with the second half very shortly. As we go up, ready for the first contest, and they do so. Well won there by Brighton, bullocking their way through, trying to barge their way out, cleaned out by Harvey. Ball now in dispute. Well done by Harvey again. A couple of quick possessions, got it towards the outside, and the running players now, it is Brighton. Shimmies one way, goes back the other. That's very evasive and clever by Latham. Latham goes long. I'm not sure if that was touched. Oh, and in the blink of an eye, it has gone through for a goal. Now, Andy Bennett, that was magnificent play by Brighton.
That was fantastic football.
Drop some numbers back. Here is the kick. It's long to the hot spot, looking for a big mark, and he's there again. Taken a pretty effective mark. Just for a minute, I thought could have been hands on the back, but Gilly, you'd like to see defenders just getting their arms across in these early stages of the match.
He's presenting well. He'd want to make more of it with this shot.
Oh, he has done. Yeah, great work.
Very confident start from Brighton.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it has a feel about them. This is a side.
You have to spend a fair bit of time on the track, Hobby.
Oh, gee, wouldn't I? I wouldn't be the whippet that I am now. But anyway, there's been another whistle, and you can see the hands going to the head of the Storm players. They said you were just blocking the run, and so it's a free kick, and this could be very, very costly as Riley Brown now goes back, and Brown has an opportunity to score the 3rd goal here for Brighton. Not a lot of breeze to speak of. Nice still conditions, just a little bit slippery as he comes in now. Very deliberate shot on goal. Oh, I like that. I love it when a forward goes back and he doesn't look side to side, Andy. He says, no, this is my job. This is what I get paid the big bucks for, and go. Seth Denny gets it. Oh, here's a chance as well, picked up by Duggan. Duggan goes towards the goals, and Duggan has put it through, and Gilly, that's exactly what Storm needed.
Well, that's what the doctor ordered, all right. Duggan, it was a slick pickup. He swooped on it and threw it on the boot, and it bounced through nicely for a goal. And it's just rewards for the endeavour of Southern Storm in this quarter in particular. They've grown.
It's shifted remarkably.
It certainly has. It was just the efficiency that Brighton had. What's happened there? I think that is going to be paid a sling tackle. I'll have a look at that one on the Mood Food replay. As the umpire came in and said that Turnbull, who went the ball, he was slung around, and that could be deemed to be a dangerous tackle. So the free kick will go to the Storm. They go in, and there is that wet ball that went straight off the side of the boot. There is Duggan hitting the pack front and centre, and put it through for 2nd goal for the Storm, and his 2nd goal, Andy Bennett.
He's got something about him, this boy. He knows where to... He's got an instinct for goals. He knows where it's going to fall, and he, as I said, very well balanced in his first...
2nd quarter for Brighton, who, as you have said, have been out of sorts. What happened there was almost like that player went down, but it was number 25, which of course is the skipper, Riley Davey, who applied that strong tackle.
Lots of ways to think about that one.
Big moment, this.
Yes, it is. So Davey,
bit proppy.
He is a bit proppy. And get the pickle juice or the salt water just to bring him right. So what has he got, Andy? He's probably got about 35 odd metres to kick this ball, maybe 40. So it's going to take probably his best kick. I'll tell you what, off the boot, that is magnificent kick for goal. And the crowd love that one. Cometh the minute, cometh the play. That was, gee whiz, Gilly, that was a fantastic shot for goal, wasn't it, by Riley Davey?
He's had a pretty good afternoon already, but that was an exclamation.
This program brought to you by IGA, where the locals matter.
Having trouble finding an after-hours doctor for your family? Sometimes we need medical assistance when everything is closed. In the Old Bridges Brothers Building, 71 Bathurst Street, after-hours Dr. Hobart is open every day till 10 p.m. Phone for an appointment or book online. And for added convenience, you'll also find your Hobart chemist also open until 10. When minor accidents and illness happen, we're here for you. After Hours Dr. Hobart and your Hobart chemist, open till 10 p.m. every day.
Brighton's best bakehouse. Love that homemade taste. Brighton's best bakehouse. Delicious in every way. Loving the taste. Love it homemade. Their own recipes. Freshly baked. Brighton's best bakehouse. Love that homemade taste.
So we are now back here to North Hobart Oval, as we can see all the officials from the Southern Storm just quickly rushing over. It was Brighton who came out quickly. They were hot to trot, and why wouldn't they be, Gilly, after that magnificent goal after the siren? That was a very nice kick from Riley Davey, who is one of the young lads who've been identified and been in the Southern team. So there is the siren as everyone has vacated the North Hobart Oval. It comes down to this last half of football, and it was always said that the third quarter is the preeminent quarter, the moving quarter, where you state your case if you'd like to be the premier. And now it is ball moving forward, getting in and under and just falling over the top, just slightly clumsy there. So Blake Doreen will take this kick. Doreen quite smartly with the old long sleeves in these cooler conditions. We've had a bit of all sorts today. It started with summer and now it's somewhat finishing with a little bit of winter, although as we look around it, the rain seems to have cleared slightly, but the lights are on here at North Hobart Oval, just so that everyone who has come in can make sure that they can see the players go about their work. Now it is in dispute. Good pick up here by Plummer. Plummer goes quickly the handball. He's spun around quickly by the oncoming tackle of Denny. Ball spills out and Brighton go forward again, and just sliding, taking a mark. Is very nicely done. We see here in the Mood Food replay, Andy just keeping his eyes on the footy. Yeah, that was a great mark taken there by Wallace.
And also he was prepared to play in front, back himself in. That's the courageous bit in that.
Just leading from the front was the captain there, wasn't he? Just came out, kept his eye on the footy. It'll be interesting to see if that kick after the siren, what the difference will be between these two teams. It's been a pretty even contest so far, and there is Duggan, who was very instrumental for the Storm making their case in that last quarter. Now it comes back. Oh, brilliant pick up there. That was just nicely done by Ethan Baker. He came out and he was so clean, Andy, below his knees, wasn't he? But he just couldn't work his way back to get the kick.
Great effort
by the goals.
By his direct opponent to get up and lay on the tackle.
He was, wasn't it? So good footy all round, a good pick up, good pressure as Brighton do the smart thing, and when it's deep into their defensive time, they go towards the boundary line. The boundary is your friend. Make it hard for the offensive team as the handball comes back to no one in particular. Good, strong hands. Breaking their way out was Hilton White, and another big, strong tackle. And I love to see this. A couple of fellas going hard at it, and then his direct opponent just puts the arm down and helps him out. You go out there, Gilly, don't you, and try and hit the living suitcase out of your opponent. You work hard, and then when it's finished like that, you put your hand down and offer some assistance to get the person up. And I think that's fantastic to watch here in the Barwick's STJFL for season 2022. Good contest again around the clenches. You can sort of hear in the effects microphone that sloshing noise. It is wet weather as Denny goes back. Denny against Jones. Jones overruns at that time, but it comes back to the Storm. That's a quick kick on goal. And there is the answer from that late one from Brighton. The early one coming to the Storm, and that persistence of just pushing it down and getting meterage, Andy Bennett, has paid off for the Storm.
Yeah, it was just that, a reward for effort. And it's sort of right at the ledger, because that goal just be right on quarter time, right on half-time, sorry. Psychologically could have changed the game. Well, we've worked so hard, we're still there, we're still not in front. But now they just quick kick, hard work, sometimes luck's a fortune, whatever it is, skill, persistence, drive. But now this Southern Storm side will start re-believing in themselves.
I'll tell you what was crucial in that one too, Andy, was Seth Denny. It looked like Jones was about to take possession, and Denny provided the bump just to allow Turnbull to pick that ball up. But here they do go again. It is the Storm coming out with their tails up after that goal that brings them within 6 points of Brighton. It is inside their 50 again, and so far it has been all the Storm of having the attacking. Very, very close towards the line, and indeed over she goes. And there we go. So Brighton have had the 2 entries early on, and then the Southern Storm have come in with the last 3, which resulted in that goal. And I just double-checked the Brighton's Best Bakehouse scoreboard, 4-3-27 to 3-3-21. As now it is close to the line. A lot of players just forcing their way and willing their way in towards the ball. And it was never, ever going to come out. The standard of umpiring as well, Gilly's been very good, hasn't it? A couple of young umpires here. So I'm sure that...
missed a thing.
Yep, no, they've been good. They've been precise, clear, consistent. As the ball now comes in. Here is Jones tracking this one back. He does get back in time and just
professional fumble that.
It was, wasn't it? Just decides to take that one over, give away the point instead of the goal. Jones, that's a lovely kick. But just arriving at the last minute for the Storm was Stesic, and was able to spoil. And it is going to be now a boundary throw in. Now, given you're on the Laws Committee, Gilly, as I said, so the other thing, which I think is a funny one, is that putting your hand up to go the ball. Do you like that rule?
It's a practical rule, isn't it, for the umpires to make sure they got someone there, but it is a bone of contention.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I saw one, I think, was last week, when I think the third one. But actually, it was interesting that the boundary throw-in came in, and it went probably 10 metres further than the rucks thought, and someone picked it up and they were penalised for actually going the footy. But anyway, it's just an interesting thing. As you can see here, it might be Seth Denny. And he's been instrumental, as I called him a few minutes ago. Here we see on the Move Food replay, he goes to the ball.
Sling.
Yeah, it was a sling and held on a little bit too long by Lockie Hills. And we're going to have a look at the set shot here from Seth Denny. Denny goes out wide and can't quite bring it back. I reckon, Andy, when you see someone do that sort of kick, you know that they're going to be right on their limit.
Yeah.
So they get the arch to try and get a bit more momentum.
Trying to get a bit of hip into it as well as his leg.
So, again, Southern Storm inch their way closer. They are 4 points behind Brighton. Just to be clear, if you're joining us, here's a man who really started so well in the first quarter was Latham. He boots the ball high and long to the leading Oakley. Sorry, that was indeed Cantrell. He goes back in and tries to get it again. It was Lang there, and a couple of boys do collide. I'm not sure which way this game. In fact, it has gone to Brighton and Richard Lang. Lang's been pretty good forward here. That's going to be tough to kick that distance, although we do know, we can see Lang was, maybe it was for a trip. I think it was Ryan Ford who was on the ground and inadvertently took his feet from under him.
Trip or contact below the knee?
Yeah, I think it was Gilly, more that contact below the knee. So Richard Lang coming in now with a set shot. Has to be a good kick. Oh, it's a strong looking kick. That's a beauty. Oh, and it's gone through. Well, these set shots on goal, Andy, the last 2 for Brighton have been as good as you ever want to see in any standard of footy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, your point you made before, but the thing that makes the most difference in the game is the score, the ability to kick goals. Work hard, you do all the fancy skills, take possession. You just need to kick the goals, and he really got a big piece of that.
Didn't he?
And was very confident in himself.
Just touched, you can see there. Pleading with the umpire, but the goal umpire, you know what, he's got a future, Gilly, too, hasn't he?
I love that. The form of it, the confidence.
It was magnificent, the way the old 2 fingers. Let's hope when they do the scorecard, it goes up nice and high above his eyes, so we can see that. Here they go again. With Brighton now, just as good teams do, they answer when Duggan goes the handball back into the corridor. Another handball to no one really on the go. Then a whistle. That's downfield. And so it is the Storm. They need to quickly move this ball while there's some space, because Brighton now are getting the numbers to run back. Get off your mark, son. Just taking the time now. Go the short pass. Down to Denny. Denny Looking further afield, he's got a couple of options. Just taking the time. There is the kick, long and strong towards the sticks. Oh, in front. I thought that was Cohen, who just drifts across the pack on his left foot. And Jesse Cohen has put it through for a goal.
He's got something special about him. He has that real instinct for a goal.
He has, hasn't he?
Terrific
well,
finish.
And that was on his left foot. And the other two have been on his right. I've got that right.
Yep, no,
yeah,
it was a great finish, wasn't it, Gilly? And if we have a look here on the move replay. Again, he was knocked over, but he quickly gets up, back in the contest, goes onto the wrong side of his body, and that's why that young man, he was runner-up in the Beakleys. You can see from that, and I tell you what, Gilly, the Storm are not going away.
Won't die. That's the perfect answer, and it comes at the right time because Brighton have just worked their way back into the game.
So just having a look at the Brighton's best bakehouse, and we can see someone going off. I'll let you keep an eye on that, Gilly, but it is Brighton 5-3-33 to 4-5-29. And who's that's just been taken off? Did you get a glimpse of who it was?
Trying to work that out.
It was a Brighton player, though, wasn't it?
It was a Brighton player limping off with the help of the trainer, so didn't quite make out the number.
Anyway, we are back here, and it is the Storm going forward, but backing back is Blair Sears taking a strong mark. Sears comes out wide to a lead by Riley Brown, and Brown was good enough to hug that one to his chest. Brown goes there, but Duggan just puts the two Dukes up as easy as you like and takes a strong mark with the wet ball. Here is Duggan. Goes into a contested area. Standing tall was Stesic. And Jones coming out, taking a very, very good and strong mark. He goes out to a 3-on-1 that particular time. Need to take their time, and Duggan does. He swings around on his left boot. That's going to clear the pack. Jones coming out. He gets that drop kick straight off the ground, which has travelled about 25 to 30 metres. Comes back towards Duggan. Cleverly goes off the ground because metres are your friend in grand finals, especially in close ones like this. Strong tackle here. That was a beautiful tackle by Cohen again. He is imposing himself as Duggan has been rewarded, and Duggan's going to take the kick. All but remonstrated there. Duggan off one step. Long. Up they go. I thought Cohen almost took it again. You know, he's at the bottom of the pack, forcing his way forward, willing his way to the pack. Thought there was a whistle there, but that has been a whistle. And now Duggan again taking that mark. He's got plenty of the footy. Duggan goes the short pass, and it has paid off as Turnbull come out and has marked the ball. But I tell you what, Andy Bennett, this is a very, very tough shot.
Tough. This is just about the toughest spot on the ground to kick a goal from.
I think as we see Turnbull, who is a right footer, here he comes. He goes to the near side. It was always really going to miss that one. I reckon on that close there, Andy, I know a point could be crucial, but that top of the square, I love that chaos ball just to the 15 metres out. But who knows, as a smaller kick has come into Jones. Jones just taking his time here for a few minutes. We know he goes onto his trusted left boot. The only option he had was to just come back on down the line as the Storm via Blake Doreen kick the ball back inside their 50 again. They are really, really surging at the moment as here they go again. Blake Doreen has had 3 or 4 possessions, comes out to Denny. Denny with the quick hands, a little bit slippery, needs to get it back into that area of uncertainty, and Brighton teaming up very, very nicely now. They take the kick, but again, Jesse Cohen just drifts across the pack and
He's
takes
emerging
a strong mark.
Nearly the most dominant player on the ground.
At the moment, he probably would be, Andy, I'd agree. And this is the kick. That's the kick that is very dangerous. But Brighton are there. You can see the pressure that they are under because they just got that ball and kicked as quickly as they can as Gorringe gets the give and go. And here comes Gorringe again. So there's a little bit of predictability in the way they're going forward, which is enabling Brighton to be able to repel some of these attacks because it's just been down the line. If they can get that one, Andy, you'd love to just sort of see them try and switch it as quickly as they can, just to try and open up the fat side of the ground.
Yeah, it's a bit of a balance. It's wet and it's hard, difficult to handle. grand final, all the pressure that, but somewhere someone's got to take a risk.
So, talking of players really standing tall, that was Duggan. But here is Jones comes out. You can see there the ball eludes him. Oh, here's a couple of good passes. A player that comes back towards Denny, and he has put it through. And I think for the first time, gentlemen, that the Storm have got their nose in front, Gilly.
They do, and hasn't Denny had a big quarter? A couple of big moments. He set up that goal before with a block, and then on the score sheet himself there, just the wet, slippery ball can be hard to gather, and yeah, the Storm wouldn't go down, and now they've hit the front. Terrific stuff.
Gee whiz, and it's also fantastic there, Andy, to see the effective and efficient use of handball.
Yeah, and that's their most constructive goal. It's the best constructed goal they've had.
So let's have a look at the Brighton's Best Bakehouse scoreboard. It's Brighton 5-3-33, trailing the Storm 5-6-36. So we've got 5.5 minutes gone. And there we are, Brighton 4 insides to Southern Storm, 13 entries inside their 50. So they have really locked that ball in. Oh, Cohen with great courage going back in towards that attack. That particular time, Duggan picked that one up. And it's going to be a 50. Oh, this is crucial now. That's a hot one, Gilly.
Big moments. You got to keep your cool.
And so now we can see Brighton have been taken down with 4 minutes. Let's have a look at this. The ball was just sort of...
wasn't returned to him on the full.
Wasn't thrown back.
It's the rule.
And the umpire standing right there, he said, I'm having none of that. So here comes Webb. Webb comes in. Big build-up. And he just didn't get good purchase with his boots there. And minor score. That young goal umpire's a cracker.
Applying himself very, very nicely. Now, the injury before, I think it might have been Riley Davey. I can't spot him out there, and he's a prime mover for this Brighton side, so that's a blow.
It certainly is. Gee whiz, I thought that was all but a really good mark there to Gorringe. In fact, the umpire said, he's a whippet. Away he goes. Goes up through the middle of the ground. It's a hard ball to stand under when you're not a moving target. Brighton, they get inside their 50. It's Lang who comes out. Tagliano was there as well. He can't take it. It's a couple of strong tackles. Gorringe back out towards Doreen. You can see the intensity has certainly lifted up a notch as Duggan is at the bottom of the pack. He's had plenty of the footy in this stanza. Ball on the wing now. Here goes the Storm. Errant handball, and it's picked up nicely by Oakley. Oakley gets inside the 50 and wanting someone to make an impression. Big, strong, but high tackle. And this young man, Andy Bennett, is playing all over the ground, isn't he?
He's having keep saying he's having a red hot crack, leading from the front.
Doing it at both ends, isn't he?
Yeah, he's hard running.
He's some sort of athlete, isn't he? He gets up and down the ground. Good vertical leap.
Yeah, no, very good young player is Jesse Cohen, the vice-captain of the Southern Storm in the Barwick's under 15A2 division. It is our last grand final of the day. We've had a couple earlier on. The last one, of course, Lauderdale men 17.5 ladies got the victory, but it's all about the boys here at the moment. Strong tackle as there's been a couple of whistles, and again, that boundary throw in. How much, Gilly, do you think fatigue will play in this game, given the inclement conditions and the brutality of the game so far?
You'd have to think so. It's certainly a heavy track now, slippery ball, contested footy. It's going to play a part, no question.
As again, that's gone close to the boundary, so we'll keep an eye on that when we go out at the three-quarter breaks to see if there are any major injury concerns. It's a good tap out there by Brighton, trying to bring the corridor up by Riley Brown. Only goes as far as Clark. Clark dispossessed very, very quickly. Just got a shot. Yeah, it was. Decided to take the full advantage. And again, coming in and going to be a ball up. This is the time you need to keep your cool. Small moments within football matches mean such a lot, especially in these very, very close encounters. Gee, we've been so lucky that for the majority of the grand finals have been on a knife's edge, could go any way when they get to the stages of the game, as Brighton now just push their way forward. It's very close to the line. Glenio tries to keep it in, but he can't do so. And there again, Brighton have had 3 more entries since we've last brought that up, so 13-8 inside 50s. It was very, very dominant by the Storm, and they've found themselves 3 point to the advantage. So clicking down now. Of course, in the final seconds, it was Brighton who got that goal, all wrapped up, and they're not going to do it this time as the siren has gone for 3/4 time. And the Brighton's Best Bakehouse scoreboard will just have a confirmation that it is Brighton 5-4-34, the Southern Storm 5-6-36. For the Storm, Cohen, Turnbull, Denny, and 2 to Duggan. Whereas for the Brighton Football Club, it was Lang, Davey, Brown, Viglino, and Latham. Well, Andy Bennett, this game could go any way. From what you saw in that 3rd quarter, do you fancy any particular team?
It'd be hard to split them now. You know, if the game breaks open, you'd suspect that Brighton can use the ball a bit better, construct a better goal. They're more systematic around it. But you've got to admire Southern Storm's just persistence and doggedness. I genuinely mean, I thought at half-time having that goal kicked after the siren would just change it psychologically. But I really admired the way the Storm came out and kicked the first goal and worked hard, believed in themselves. The game, because of the weather conditions, there's a lot to be said. But it's just make it simple, work really hard, combine. You just got to get goals out of nothing. You occasionally get a well-constructed goal. But it's just largely hard work from here on in, and you couldn't separate either side of that.
Well, as we cast our eye down there, you can see the support staff, the coaches urging their players on. So it's their opportunity to come in and give the last-minute instructions. Oh, that's great scenes.
How good is that?
Down there, isn't it? The old Medico is saying, come on, fellas, we can do this. It's just wonderful, the colour and the scenes here at North Hobart Oval. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take our last break. So don't go too far. If you're going to make a cup of tea, make it quick and get your way back in front of the device that you are watching for the Barwick's U15A2 Boys Grand Final. We'll be back very shortly.
This program brought to you by IGA, where the locals matter.
Having trouble finding an after-hours doctor for your family? Sometimes we need medical assistance when everything is closed. In the Old Bridges Brothers Building, 71 Bathurst Street, after-hours Dr. Hobart is open every day till 10 p.m. Phone for an appointment or book online. And for added convenience, you'll also find your Hobart chemist also open until 10. When minor accidents and illness happen, we're here for you. After Hours Dr. Hobart and your Hobart chemist, open till 10 p.m. every day.
Brighton's Best Bakehouse. Love that homemade taste. Brighton's Best Bakehouse. Delicious in every way. Loving the taste. Love it homemade. Their own recipes. Freshly baked. Brighton's Best Bakehouse. Love that homemade taste.
So welcome back here to North Hobart Oval for the last quarter and the last quarter of today, but it is the Barwick's STJFL under 15 A2 boys division, and we've got an absolute cracker on our hands. It has been the barnstorming Brighton who've taken it all before them this season with their 15 games. They've had 14 wins and 1 loss, and Southern Storm have come from third with 9 victories and 5 losses, but it counts for nothing on the big day. Who can stand up? You either stand up or stand down, and here is your moment. You've just got to take those opportunities, and the first one is taken by Clark. Comes towards number 6, a full forward, and that one has just gone off the side by Polly. And for a minute there, Gilly, I thought that was the dream start for the Storm. Gee, that was close.
It opened up nicely for him. I reckon he just couldn't half believe his luck, but
yeah,
just
I think with you.
Slid off the side of the boot.
Just little moments. So now Brighton have time to settle and steady. There's one place I wouldn't kick, it'd be anywhere near Cohen. You want to keep him right out of the game. I'd try and bypass him, Andy Bennett.
Yeah, he's a standout player, certainly in the third quarter and probably across the 3 quarters now.
So it is the ball up. It is Brighton to take possession, and it's a strong tackle. And just on cue, it is Cohen who provides that very, very strong tackle. Cohen plays on quickly. It's a big, long, strong kick. Need a contest here. There are numbers supplied there by Brighton. Trying to push their way out was Muscat. Muscat does a terrific effort to gain possession. Storm is set up nicely behind the ball, but they haven't taken a clean possession, and that is all because of Gavino again coming in to try and bring the ball out to Brighton's advantage. It's Clark who's got a couple of possessions crucially in these last few minutes.
Courage.
Oh, look at that. There is Gorringe just running straight at the ball. Don't you love to see a backman back himself and run hard at the football? Sneaky little kick back into the corridor. Cohen gets the handball out, and the Storm again go into their attacking area. Try and keep the ball in front. They go back inside. That can be dangerous. It goes a short kick, but it falls, and there is holding the ball, tracking back with a strong tackle is Pearce, as we see here on the Mood Food replay. And Gilly, you have to understand in finals you are going to be beset upon as soon as you take possession of the onion, and there's a 50-metre applied.
He just snuck up on him like a librarian, didn't he?
Oh, just absolutely. Oh, look at that. Just came off the knee of the Brighton player, but it comes back, fortunately, towards Davey, who has re-entered the ground. Ball spills wide, comes over towards Doreen. The appeals come out, and the goal umpires just very swiftly. Not only are we watching the emerging players going to strut their stuff, but also the emerging umpires. We've got some young ones going around officiating and doing a very, very good job here in the Barwick's STJFL final. As that kick is snapped on goal, and it's just maybe the post there, Andy Bennett. Has it? Have a look at the Mood Food replay.
I thought it was a goal.
Off hands.
Touched off hands, okay.
He tried to coach at home, Oakley.
He did, didn't he? So Oakley did a really nice job to kick across the body. And that's really made the game just tighten up ever so slightly. McDermott came out, can't get the ball. Oh, and it'll be another ball up. It's just a matter of nothing. That's not all the sexy, brilliant stuff, is it, Andy Bennett? It's who can do the simple stuff better for longer.
Yeah, and hang in there long enough, and maybe just force a little bit of luck your way. That's what it feels like this game. It
does, doesn't it?
Can go either way.
Goes without saying, but the first goal of this last quarter is enormous.
Yeah, it'll give the one team or the other a bit of confidence, and certainly give them a lift as Brighton now do take possession, as it is hauled back into play by Giddis. It's close to the line, and indeed it has gone over again. So if you're watching the clock, you can see that 4 minutes have expired in what is going to be a 20-minute with no time on. We've had a couple of absolutely ripping finals so far in the Barwick's STJFL season, and this one seemingly is counting down for another one. As you can see the frustration on Hills. It's a brilliant tackle there by Gorringe.
It's been a real feature of the game, the tackling, hasn't it? Terrific chasing down from behind tackles.
This game, you can see there's a lot of players of a similar shape who are very lean on, but by gee, they're athletic, Andy, aren't they?
Yeah, Gorringe in particular.
Very
good
much
pace,
so.
Good pace.
So there is the skipper, Wallace. Wallace goes down. Oh, magnificent mark taken there. Gee whiz, Turnbull just came out and presented himself so strongly. And we've just had a report from down on the boundary that just a second as it goes back to Cohen towards the goals. And Cohen has put that one through for a goal to the Storm. And sorry, the message came through from the boundary rider in Jezza Jones, and he said that the rain has stopped and it's really drained quite nicely there, Gillian. Maybe that's the reason for some of the skills, but let's have a look here on the Mood Food replay.
Well, it looked like a dry
clean
ball.
Hands.
Yeah, it looked like a dry ball when it's in the hands of Cohen, the way he's playing the caper at this point in time. Magnificent second half individually, and he has put his team right in the driver's seat.
And two terrific overhead marks that led to that really strong mark.
How crucial is it, though, just to have clean hands in footy? You fumble that ball, who's heard of Cohen? You're clean, you give yourself a chance, you've got that extra couple of metres because you don't let the opposition come and catch up to you. So now Orr's in front of Brighton. They've been so good all year. Everything that any team has thrown at them, they've been able to stand. Here comes Jones and he barrels that one in. They know they're strong. Willie O'Neilly takes that one. Comes out to some of their diminutive players. It's screwed back and it's another goal to McDermott. And Brighton have kicked that one through. It's goal to goal, end-to-end stuff in the Barwick STJFL under 15A2 boys division. Gilly, that was a beautiful goal by Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton just answer. There you go. We see you, Southern Storm, and we answer with a ripper of our own. It was terrific, just fighting at ground level. It was a big, deep entry from Jones, penetrating ball in, and then they were just aggressive at the ground ball, and McDermott pounced, swooped straight on it. Terrific finish, curling it through. Great goal. Brighton back in town.
Oh,
Jones into the centre could be a significant move.
I agree. So that again with Jones there with the no fuss. He said we need to get that ball deep, and gee whiz, that was clean hands by McDermott. And here they go again. It is Brown. Brown, irrepressible, goes deep. They're over the back if they can just soccer that one off the ground. And it's just missed there by Oakley and through for the minor score. I don't know if you got anything booked, gentlemen. We might have to go extra time yet. So now it is the Storm kicking that ball out wide, and they go. Cohen was in front. He can't mark it. Comes out wide. There is Davey. Brighton kick it towards their goal. They've got numbers. They bring it to the ground. Here comes McDermott, the goal scorer from just a few minutes ago. They screw that one around and
snuck it through.
Oh, it has just snuck through for a behind, and a crucial behind, as we just have a quick glance down at the Brighton's Best Bakehouse, which sees Brighton 6-7-43, and you guessed it, the Southern Storm exactly the same, 6-7-43. So 8.5 minutes gone, and it's coming down to these crucial moments. And standing underneath the ball with enormous amount of courage was Lang, and Lang takes that mark.
There's plenty of time left in this game, but this would be a big goal if he could finish off.
It's not nearly the toughest mark coming back.
I agree.
Over your head. You don't know where they're coming from. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you can easily fly over the top, but Lang just stood tall. You can see what lay in front of him. Here he comes, couple of footsteps, very deliberate on goal. Gee whiz! What a magnificent goal there from Lang, Andy Bennett. If you were a coach and you said, here's how you kick a drop bunt for goal, you'd put that right on.
Well, everything about that. Young man, know yourself. You've got to stand under the ball, backwards into a pack, take the mark overhead, then you've got to kick a goal to get your team in front.
Oh, look at the finish.
Wasn't that just beautiful?
Yeah, confidence.
Hands below there, wasn't it, fellas? He just squared his shoulders up, took the responsibility. and put that one through. And have a look at them all coming down from Brighton. They've come down from the northern suburbs, the outer reaches of Hobart, and they're making the numbers up. So we're almost halfway through this last quarter, and Brighton, with those last couple of goals, have got their noses in front. As here is Cohen. If anyone can get him back, Cohen has got broad shoulders, and he's got the Southern Storm on them right now, saying, come with me, we can do this. And there he is. He gets a quick handball. Another sling action.
And they've been consistent and strong.
They have, haven't they? And Roy Duggan to take the kick. Duggan goes down the centre of the ground, but backing back, ever present down there is Riley Davey, who takes that mark. Davey comes out, and here is Latham.
They've lifted Brighton.
They have. They've found another gear, haven't they, Gilly? There's no doubt about that. Just as we pump their tyres up, it's an opportunity for the Storm to go with it. Storm now rushing it, but Brighton is backing back. There is Gorringe, who gets the big smother on that one. A kick off the ground. That's got some valuable meterage in it. Oh, now they do pick it up through the agency of Giddis. Driving it towards that square. Goes close towards the line, and just running it out is Alpine. And it will be a boundary throw in with 9 minutes left in the game. The whole ground just collects their thoughts as the ball comes in. Gorringe grabs it, but just goes without it. Now they've got some numbers as they just bludgeon that one out wide. It was well played by Doreen. Gets it further afield to Turnbull. This is where they look dangerous, but well played there, Andy Bennett, by Brighton, just having the good grace to set up behind the ball.
There was a shorter one on for the Southern Storm.
That's what can happen, can't it, when the pressure is mounting, thinking that you know, you have to win the game, and you just got to stay true to the process that you've been doing all year. As it was a good kick, as Gilly just said. It comes back inside, and this young man Giddis has been quite pivotal in this last quarter. And now Brighton just going to try and slow the game down. They'll think to themselves, if we can get one more goal, we might have this. And leading out and taking another very, very strong mark. And that's a bit of a calf injury, isn't it?
It's plaguing him. He's doing well to be back out there. He's had some crucial involvements too.
You mentioned before, Gilly, he had to go off with this injury, and you can see as soon as he landed, he just grimaced and to say, gee, that hurt. But I tell you what, the pain will go away if this young man can go back and nail this one through for a goal. He comes in. Oh,
he's done it.
He certainly has. Brilliant play by Davey. And the set shots for goal, Andy Bennett, hasn't that been absolutely crucial for Brighton?
Their kicking skills generally have been better.
Yep.
They've certainly kicked the goals better, but they've used the ball better when the opportunity's been on and where the weather's permitted it. Look at this, he's just very confident again. And kicks it.
Big long kicks.
Lovely action.
Straight through the middle of the stick. So very, very handy now as we just checked the Brighton's best breakouts. 8-7-55 to 6-7-43.
Last three centre breaks have gone Brighton's way.
Yeah, okay. And that is absolutely crucial. Just waiting for the setup. Umpires just making sure everyone is in their possession. It's just the old Andy density. You can't have extra players behind the ball. I love this rule.
He's gone the wrong way.
Oh, this is the Jim Horn. This is the Jim Horn rule, by the way. He did this a couple of years ago, the old professor. He sent a girl out to the wrong position and milked the clock down. So he did a fantastic job. I'm sure we send our regards to the great Jim Horn, as here is Gorringe picking it up, and look at the tackling intensity.
Ferocious.
Of Brighton.
He's lifted Latham.
He has. So now it is Latham. Here he goes. Left foot up into that area of danger. Oh, big, strong mark, backing back. Tremendous courage shown there. Could have easily pulled out.
It was a good kick too.
It was.
On the replay.
Right into the hot spot. And it was Riley Brown who went back in. And Andy, you spoke a few moments ago about Richard Lang standing up. And what about the courage shown there?
Yeah, just through him. The adrenaline's rushing now. They're all absolutely committed to the task.
Look at the set shots from Brighton. Riley Brown.
Whoever's taking goal kicking out at Brighton Juniors has got it right, or kicking skills generally. They've just...
Yeah, I think it's Jason Jones who's the goal kicking coach out there. So he is doing a very, very good job.
Give him a medal.
Yeah, give him a good job. You've got to say that
that's good.
When the games was there to be won and Southern Storm really put it on Brighton, they've answered.
Haven't they? Gee whiz, this has been a high-quality game. Now, this is the under-15A2 in the Barwicks, and I tell you what, STJFL season, and the standard of footy, Andy Bennett, is terrific.
Well, across all the games I've seen, every game I've seen.
Brighton ball here.
And you know what I'd say to that? It looks better. I saw some good games last year, but it looks better this year. Looks like we've got better style of footy, better skill.
Absolutely. They've certainly steadied now, Gilly, haven't they, Brighton? They're making every post a winner. As Latham, we know, is going to swing back in on his trusted left boot. But Denny, who has had such a good third quarter on the offensive side for the Storm, has backed back and taken that one. Another kick out, slipping over now, and Brighton take possession. You can see, look at the determination by the Storm. They're not giving it away, as there was Jackie Wallace, the skipper. I think he's hurt his calf.
Yeah, looks in trouble, doesn't he?
Well, that's the old man injury when you hurt your calf. He is in a spot of bother. Let's hope the young man can get up and take his spot. I think the only advantage here, Gilly, is he is very close to the line, but we hate to see any player down. You can see that grimace. Is it calf or lower knee? Yeah, no, absolutely. He's in a lot of pain. He's had a really good game. He's been very stoic, as it is Brighton who flicked that ball. Comes inside. Latham goes up really, really high. Quick kick off the ground. There is Jones standing very, very ever-presently tall down in defence, just monitoring everyone. Good handball now. They've got to the outside and they've regrouped and got that run going. Almost pulls that one in. Great recovery there from Baglino. There is another one who's done a really, really nice job. That was McDermott with that big goal. It goes back toward Baglino, who couldn't quite bring that one in, but more importantly now, Damien Gill, it's down the right end if you are a Brighton supporter, and the clock is the enemy of the Southern Storm.
You're dead right. Time ticking away. Premiership medallion just slipping from their grasp. Brighton in control.
Yes, they are seemingly at the minute, as they have to chance their arm. And Brighton, they've decided that they've got more goals to try and kick, as that one has just swung around and through for the minor score. The only thing you'd question there, Andy, is when you do have the game like that, maybe just go back and get a few seconds off the clock.
Yeah.
But you can't say that they're not trying to continue on with this fast-flowing play, as now Davey comes in, and coming out now is Lang. And we know that this young man loves a goal. He kicked one from underneath the Roy Kazali stand a few minutes ago, and this one, he is dead in front, probably 30-odd metres out from goal with about a minute and a half to go.
They're excited, the Brighton players celebrating behind the scenes.
You back him in, judging by their goal kicking so far.
Well, gee, anyone with the Brighton Guernsey on, I'd back in as a goal kicker, and here he goes. Well, you can see already, Andy, his hands are nice and low. It's very, very efficient, and as we pump him up, all of a sudden he's just pushed that one to the other side as Denny. No time to wait. Just needs to play on very, very swiftly. We've got about a minute to go now. There was a ball there to be won, and underneath it was Bevan Doreen. Doreen, gee whiz, there's a few sore bodies out there, Gilly. We did say that it's going to be very taxing on them, and it's been a physical game.
It's big by Jones.
Jones comes through. He's been terrific for Brighton. As they push that one forward, it comes over the back, trying to get their dukes on it if they can. there is Gorringe. Very slight of body, but I tell you what, he's fantastic the way he moves. There has been a whistle on play. Yeah, no use to worry about this, fellas, with only 15 seconds to go. Just get up and play the footy, just bounce the ball and we can go on.
Don't like moments like this souring what's been a magnificent occasion.
Yeah, it has been good. Some wiser heads are just trying to say, come on, fellas, let's just get out and open this one up, as indeed the siren has gone, and it is a win for Brighton. And a very, very entertaining game, as we can see all the crowd coming on to see the Brighton boys. They are the premiers for 2022, but that's been a fantastic game. As we just check those goal scorers we see there in the Brighton's Best Bakehouse scoreboard, it is 9-9-63 to Southern Storm, 6-7-43 for the victors. It was Lang with 2, Davey 2, Brown 2, and singles to Latham, Viglino and McDermott. And for the Southern Storm, it was 2 goals to Cohen, Turnbull got a single, Denny got a single, and 2 goals to Roy Duggan, Andy Bennett.
Well, that's a terrific game. Enjoyed it. Loved calling it with you and Damien. Good fun. Really glad I stayed around to see that game played out. When Jesse Cohen kicked that goal, what about the 13-minute mark, 14-minute mark? Felt to me like
Storm were going to do it.
Yeah, they were going to do it.
That way.
Yeah, just that all the momentum was there. The emotionally felt it was their way. So hats off to Brighton. They were really strong under pressure. And I would say hats off to everyone involved in that organisation, because the things, and the coaches in particular, because the kicking skills, not just kicking for goal, but when the weather turned conducive to good football, they used the ball really systematically and by hand, but particularly by foot, going into the forward line, and in the end that sets you up for easy goals, and that's what's made the difference.
Well, absolutely. Thank you very much. We're very pleased and happy to have Damien Gill and Andy Bennett join the old Silver Fox here in the commentary tower, and what's been a very, very enjoyable game. So we will now cross down to see the presentations for the premiers and the best on grounds.
Good afternoon, patrons. Well, what a fantastic game of football that we've had here to close out today's Barwick's STJFL Grand Final day. Southern Storm, very gallant, put up a great effort, did it the hard way coming through from finishing third on the ladder. Hold your heads high because you really give it a big shake today. Congratulations to the Brighton Robins on being premiers for season 2022. I'd now like to invite Lynette Genders to come forward to call out the umpires to receive their grand final medallions. Well done to the umpiring team today. You did a fantastic job, team.
Congratulations to Brighton, commiserations to Southern Storm. Fantastic effort out there. It was a great game to watch. Our field umpires today were Lockie Nichols and Lucas Gaffney, with emergency Phil Geeson. Our boundary umpires are Hayden Clark-Sullivan and Lachlan Shivers. Goal umpires, Tate Hollingsworth and Fletcher Ryan. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Lynette, and once again, well done to our umpires today. Now I'd like to invite Trent Cohen, the coach of the Storm, to come forward and say a few words.
First of all, congratulations to Matt and the Brighton under-15 teams. Have played a great game today, boys, and thoroughly deserve your win. We thought we were in with a little bit of a chance at the end of the third quarter there, but you boys were way too strong in the last, so congratulations, and hope you really enjoy your celebration together. Well done, boys. Very proud of the Storm boys as well, the way you fought it out and the way you've improved this year has been amazing, and as said, Scott and I and Jules are really proud of the way you've performed all year, so well done, boys. Thanks to Tony and the STJFL for putting on the final series and the season for that matter as well. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Trent. Our next item on the agenda is our best on ground medal today. There was some really, Brighton, you had really great team effort and some real good contributors for the whole day. But there's one player that's been adjudged as the best player on the field, and that's Storm player Jesse Cohen.
Well done to the Brighton boys on a great season. Unlucky to our boys, couldn't get it done today. Thanks to Scoot, Trent, Little Pumpkin, for helping us throughout the year, Jules, and yeah, thank you.
Well done, Jesse. Now I'd like to invite the coach of Brighton, Matty Muscat, to come forward and say a few words. And when Matty's finished doing that, he'll call out his players to receive their medallions.
Thanks, Tony. I'd like to thank the STJFL for putting on this great finals series. Great season as well. Big thanks to the umpires. Without you guys, we couldn't do it, so thanks very much. Commiserations, boys. It's not good being there, but keep your heads high. You played really good footy all the way through the season, so keep going. Great game today. Keep her up. And this lot here, well, awesome season, boys. Keep your heads high in all the hard times. That's what we like to see. Great win today. Great season. Get around each other and just make the most of all the moment today. Good stuff, fellas. No particular order. Go for Richard Lang. Alex Geddes. Jack Bryant. Hilton White. Philip Sears. Tyler Cantrell. Tyler Webb. Bailey Main. Lockie Muscat. Jai Valino. Lockie Hills. Riley Brown. Blair Sears. Ben Giddis. Cody Plummer. Jacob Latham. Ryder McDermott. Nathan Oakley. Angus Bennett. Brodie Pearce. The two captains, Jai Jones and Riley Davey.
And the coach, Matty Muscat. Just like John Riley to come back to receive the Premiership Cup from our President, Jim Horn. Our 2022 Barwick's STJFL Under-15 A2 boys premiers, Brighton.
We go up ready for the first contest, and they do so. Well won there by Brighton, bullocking their way through, trying to barge their way out, cleaned out by Harvey. Ball now in dispute. Well done by Harvey again. A couple of quick possessions, got it towards the outside, and the running players now, it is Brighton. Shimmies one way, goes back the other. That's very evasive and clever by Latham. Latham goes long. I'm not sure if that was touched. Oh, within the blink of an eye, it has gone through for a goal. Now, Andy Bennett, that was magnificent play by Brighton.
That was fantastic football.
Drop some numbers back. Here is the kick. It's long to the hot spot, looking for a big mark, and he's there again. Taken a pretty effective mark. Just for a minute, I thought could have been hands on the back, but Gilly, you'd like to see defenders just getting their arms across in these early stages of the match.
He's presenting well. He'd want to make more of it with this.
Oh, he has done. Yeah, great work.
Very confident start from Brighton.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it has a feel about them that this is a side.
You have to spend a fair bit of time on the track, Hobby.
Oh, gee, wouldn't I? What? I wouldn't be the whippet that I am now. But anyway, there's been another whistle, and you can see the hands going to the head of the Storm players. They said you were just blocking the run, and so it's a free kick, and this could be very, very costly as Riley Brown now goes back. And Brown has an opportunity to score the third goal here for Brighton. Not a lot of breeze to speak of. Nice still conditions. Just a little bit slippery as he comes in now. Very deliberate shot on goal. Oh, I like that. I love it when a forward goes back. And he doesn't look side to side, Andy. He says, no, this is my job. This is what I get paid the big bucks for. And go. Denny. Seth Denny gets it. Oh, here's a chance as well, picked up by Duggan. Duggan goes towards the goals, and Duggan has put it through, and Gilly, that's exactly what Storm needed.
Oh, that's what the doctor ordered, all right. Duggan, it was a slick pickup. He swooped on it and threw it on the boot, and it bounced through nicely for a goal. And it's just rewards for the endeavour of Southern Storm in this quarter in particular. They've grown.
It's shifted remarkably.
It certainly has. It was just the efficiency that Brighton had. What's happened there? I think that is going to be paid a swing tackle. I'll have a look at that one on the Move Food replay. As as the umpire came in and said that Turnbull, who went the ball, he was slung around, and that could be deemed to be a dangerous tackle, so the free kick will go to the Storm. They go in, and there is that wet ball that went straight off the side of the boot. There is Duggan hitting the pack front and centre and put it through for second goal for the Storm, and his second goal, Andy Bennett.
He's got something about him, this boy. He knows where to... He's got an instinct for goals. He knows where it's going to fall, and he, as I said, very well balanced in his first...
Second quarter for Brighton, who, as you have said, have been out of sorts. I don't know what happened there. It was almost like that player went down, but it was number 25, which of course is the skipper Riley Davey, who applied that strong tackle.
What's the ways to think about that one?
Big moment, this.
Yes, it is. So Davey,
a bit proppy.
He is a bit proppy. And to get the pickle juice or the salt water just to bring him right. So what has he got, Andy? He's probably got about 35 odd metres to kick this ball, maybe 40. So it's going to take probably his best kick. I'll tell you what, off the boot, that is magnificent kick for goal. And the crowd love that one. Cometh the minute, cometh the player. That was, gee whiz, Gilly, that was a fantastic shot for goal, wasn't it, by Riley Davey?
He's had a pretty good afternoon already, but that was an excellent...
The clenches. You can sort of hear in the effects microphone that sloshy noise. It is wet weather as Denny goes back. Denny against Jones. Jones overruns it that time, but it comes back to the Storm. That's a quick kick on goal. And there is the answer from that late one from Brighton. The early one coming to the Storm, and that persistence of just pushing it down and getting meterage, Andy Bennett, has paid off for the Storm.
Yeah, it was just that.
And Richard Lang. Lang's been pretty good forward here. That's going to be tough to kick that distance, although we do know, you can see Lang was, maybe it was for a trip. I think it was Ryan Ford who was on the ground and inadvertently took his feet from under him.
Trip or contact below the knee?
Yeah, I think it was Gilly, more that contact below the knee. So Richard Lang coming in now with a set shot. Has to be a good kick. Oh, it's a strong looking kick. That's a beauty. Oh, and it's gone through. Well, these set shots on goal, Andy, the last two for Brighton have been as good as you ever want to see in any standard of footy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, your point you made before, but the thing that makes...
Short pass down to Denny. Denny looking further afield. He's got a couple of options. Just taking the time. There is the kick, long and strong, towards the sticks. Oh, in front. I thought that was the Cohen, who just drifts across the pack on his left foot. And Jesse Cohen has put it through for a goal.
He's got something special about him. He has that real instinct for a goal.
He has, hasn't he?
Terrific finish.
That was on his left foot. And the other two have been on his right. I've got that right.
Yep. No, it was a great finish, wasn't it, Gilly? And
if he difficult to handle. Grand final, all the pressure that, but somewhere someone's got to take a risk.
So, talking of players really standing tall, that was Duggan. But here is Jones comes out. You can see there the ball eludes him. Oh, here's a couple of good passes. A player that comes back towards Denny, and he has put it through. And I think for the first time, gentlemen, that the Storm have got their nose in front, Gilly.
They do, and hasn't Denny had a big quarter? Couple of big moments. He set up that goal before with a block, and then on the score sheet himself there, just the wet slippery ball can be hard to gather, and yeah, the Storm wouldn't go down, and now they've hit the front. Terrific stuff.
Gee whiz, and it's also fantastic there, Andy, to see the so there is the skipper Wallace. Wallace goes down. Oh, magnificent mark taken there. Gee whiz, Turnbull just magnificent mark taken there. Gee whiz, Turnbull just came out and presented himself so strongly. And we've just had a report from down on the boundary that just a second as it goes back to Cohen towards the goals. And Cohen has put that one through for a goal to the Storm. Sorry, the message came through from the boundary rider in Jezza Jones, and he said that the rain has stopped and it's really drained quite nicely there, Gillian. Maybe that's what his hands. And here comes Jones, and he barrels that one in. They know they're strong. Willie O'Neilly takes that one. Comes out to some of their diminutive players. It's screwed back, and it's another goal to McDermott. And Brighton have kicked that one through. It's goal to goal. STJFL under 50. Exactly the same. 6-7, 43. So minutes gone. Riley Brown.
Whoever's taken goal kicking out at Brighton Juniors has got it right, or kicking skills generally. They've just...
Yeah, I think it's just very slight of body, but I tell you what, he's fantastic the way he moves. There has been a whistle on play. Yeah, no use to worry about this, fellas, with only 15 seconds to go. Just get up and play the footy, just bounce the ball and we can go on.
Don't like moments like this souring what's been a magnificent occasion.
Yeah, it has been good. Some wiser heads are just trying to say, come on, fellas, let's just get out and open this one up. As indeed, the siren has gone, and it is a win for Brighton. And a very, very entertaining game, as we can see all the crowd coming on to see the Brighton boys. They are the premiers for 2022, but that's been a fantastic game as we just check those goal scorers we see there in the Brighton's Best Bakehouse scoreboard. It is 9-9-63 to Southern Storm, 6-7-43 for the victors. It was Lang with 2, Davey 2, Brown 2, and singles to Latham, Baglino and McDermott. And for the Southern Storm, it was 2 goals to Cohen, Turnbull got a single, Denny got a single, and 2 goals to Roy Duggan, Andy Bennett.
Well,